Hello all, welcome to this series where we are discussing articles of Indian Constitution. Till now we have discussed Article 1 to Article 13. In today's video, let us discuss Article 14 of Indian Constitution. As you must be remembering from our earlier discussion, Part 3 of Indian Constitution starts from Article 12 and it's Article 35, and this part deals with the chapter of fundamental rights. We have discussed 12 and 13 already. Today we are going to discuss Article 14. You see, Article 14 to Article 18, they belong to one category of fundamental rights which are called as right to equality. Right to equality. So under Article 14, we'll be studying about the first right under right to equality. Now let's first discuss the or read out the details of Article 14. Then we'll be discussing what is the meaning of Article 14. So Article 14, it says equality before law. It says the state shall not deny to any person equality before law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. Right? So the things to focus here is that who shall not violate the rights or deny equality? It is state. What is state? The definition of state we have already seen in Article 12. Right? And it shall not be denied to any person. Meaning this right is not just available to citizens, it is also available to non-citizens. In fact, in legal terms, it is available to all legal entities. For example, corporates are also one kind of legal entity. So, it is available to all, right? It is not just available to citizens. Equality before the law or the equal protection of the law. So, two kind of equality they have talked about. Both these two equalities will be discussing in the upcoming part or in the later part of this video. But please remember, Article 14 gives you two kind of equality. One is equality before law and another is equal protection of laws within the territory of India. Now let us first try to understand what is the meaning of equality before law. So equality before law, this concept it originated in Britain, right? So it is a British origin concept and it is considered to be a negative concept. Meaning, why negative? Meaning it restricts or it imposes restriction on the powers of state, right? How? So equality before law means it has three meaning or it has three components. First is no special privilege, right? So state cannot make special privileges for any category of people or any one person, right? That is what this first element or first aspect of equality before law is, that no special privileges has to be given to any person or any group of person, right? Second is equal subjection of all persons to the law. Meaning, let's say a person A has committed a crime. Same crime has been committed by person B. Both of them will be punished with the same amount of, let's say, imprisonment. Let's say person A might be prime minister, person B might be a common man, let's say labor, right? Even then, both of them will be given equal amount of punishment under equality before law. And the third aspect of equality before law is no person is above the law. It doesn't matter whether you are rich, whether you are poor. It doesn't matter whether you are a government official, whether you are a common man. It doesn't matter what is your status. Everybody is below the law. Law is supreme, right? That is what equality before law means. Now, equality before law, this concept also we derive from a bigger concept, which is rule of law. A very famous British jurist, namely A.V. Dicey, he has written about rule of law in detail. Let us try to understand what is the concept of rule of law. Rule of law, again, it means that absence of arbitrary power. State shall not be having any kind of arbitrary power. What does it mean? That a person can be punished by the state only for violation of a law. For non or if a law is not passed by a state, and then a person has committed something or a person has acted in a manner which till now by the state has not been declared as a crime, then that person cannot be punished, right? Only for violation of a law a person can be arrested or punished, not otherwise, not arbitrarily. That is what the first aspect of rule of law is. The second aspect of rule of law is equality before law. What is equality before law? We have just now discussed. And the third aspect of rule of law is the primacy of rights of the individuals. What does this mean is that it is rights of the individuals which are supreme, and the constitution has to make sure that these rights they remain as it is. The rights which have been guaranteed to citizens by the courts, they must be protected by constitution. Meaning even constitution is subservient to these rights, or constitution is also outcome of these rights. This aspect of rule of law it is not implemented in India. In India, even the rights are given to individuals by constitution and not vice versa. Right? So these two aspects of rule of law, they are implemented in India as well. Absence of arbitrary power, and second is equality before law. The another kind of equality which we have seen in Article 14 was equal protection of law. You see, this kind of equality, it is of American origin and it is a positive concept. It is not negative, it is positive concept, meaning it enables, it empowers the state to take some favorable action against people of certain community. What does equal protection of law means? You let us try to understand with the help of example. So let's say there is a sports competition. Let's say in that sports competition, in the event of athletics, there is a race event. Now in that race event, or let's say there is a 500-meter race. Now let's say one participant is just of 5-year old, a child of 5-year old, and the another participant is a 25-year-old person. Right? Now, by the concept of equality before law, what does it mean? Whoever comes first in this race will win. Yes. Now, but we know that a person or a child who is 5-year old under any circumstances cannot run as fast as a person who is 25-year old, and hence this kind of equality is not fair. This kind of race itself is not fair, and hence the concept of equal protection of laws comes. Equal protection of law says that only equals in the society shall be treated equally. Unequals shall not be treated equally. Meaning, children who are in this age group, let's say under 5, under 7, they should be able to, or they should be made competing with each other, not a person of 5-year with the person of 25-year. If you have understood this concept, this is the origin of idea of reservation in India as well. Right? We have understood, or we have realized that not every caste of people, right, or the people who have been historically discriminated against, right? So let's say the scheduled caste community in India, let's say the tribal community in India, right? They shall not be competing with others. Reason being the kind of discrimination which they have met. If you don't give them any kind of additional support, then they will not be able to compete with, let's say, general category community, and hence they will never be able to come at par with general category, right? So the concept of reservation also emerges from equal protection of law. So I hope equal protection of law is clear. It says only like should be treated alike, right? Those who belong to same, let's say, circumstances, those who belong to same socio-economic level, only such people shall be treated equally. Those who belong to different group or different communities, based on their social position, they shall not be treated equally. So that is what equal protection of law is. So in Indian constitution, we try to ensure both equality before law as well as equal protection of laws. Now the last part of this article 14 is कि even though we have equality before law, but there are certain exceptions within the constitution only, which gives certain kind of privileges to people of certain category. One is, for example, Article 361. What is Article 361? Article 361 gives immunity to president and governors. What kind of immunity? For example, no criminal proceeding can be initiated either against President of India or any governor when that person is in office. Right? For example, a civil case also cannot be filed against president or governor till the time you give them a notice of 2 months prior. Right? So these kind of immunities have been given to President of India and governors of various states. Article 105. Article 105, if you remember, it is about privileges given to MPs of Parliament. Meaning, for example, what on a particular bill, on a particular issue, whatever speech has been given by a MP in Parliament or whatever vote has been given by a MP in Parliament, that cannot be questioned in any court of law. Right? So such kind of privileges have been given to them. Similarly, under Article 194, same privileges have been given to MLAs, member of legislative assemblies. Right? So in Parliament, whatever they speak, even though that speech might violate some other laws, but because they have given that speech in legislature, that cannot be questioned in any court of law. Then Article 31C, you might have read about it, that Supreme Court has upheld Article 31C, saying whenever a state tries to implement Article 39B or Article 39C, then these two articles, they override Article 14. Right? So Article 14 becomes subservient to Article 39B and 39C. Right? Then diplomatic immunity, meaning the diplomats, from various countries, when they come here in India, they have been given various kind of again privileges, right? So criminal proceedings against them also cannot be initiated. Various organs of UN, right? So staff of UN also, they also have been given such kind of immunity. Various heads of the state, they have also been given such kind of immunity. So I'm saying there are various exception within the constitution to Article 14, but by and large Article 14, it ensures there remains equality before law as well as equal protection of law in our country. So this was Article 14, the first article of right to equality. The next article is Article 15, which we shall be discussing in next video. Thank you so much for watching this video.